I think he's going first.
Wow.
Oh, no, he's just using the Molcharmi Purilla. Ash Blossom, a Joyous Spring countering it. Okay, so we're getting right into this as the cards fling from both sides of the table here. And next we're going to see Bonfire adding a Pyro Monster from the deck to the hand.
And this could be a really good start here, getting that Snake Eyes Ash, which gets us into the bread and butter of all Snake Eye combos. Go ahead and normal summon and automatically search for Snake Eyes Poplar. As Poplar's effect will now special summon it to the board. So far, everything feels pretty textbook.
Nothing too crazy here. No additional points of interaction. Perhaps that Molcharmi Purilla was supposed to get more basic reinforcements here, but since it was negated, at least it takes away that Ash Blossom, so when Andre gets to play, he'll get to do something.
Any of my Master Duel fans out there know how powerful effects like Puruli are, being able to draw cards in the middle of your opponent's turn and draw even more interactions and disruptions from your deck. Super strong. And ooh, we're seeing an early IP Masquerena coming down from Zachary using that Ash and Poplar as material. Poplar's effect to go to the Spell Trap card zone, and then Diabellstar's effect to add Ash to the Spell Capture zone and special summon itself.
Interesting. So now we're going to go ahead and see the Selene there. We've got multiple spells, so it's really easy to bring out that Spellcaster monster and then link that one off as well. That is going to bring us up to the 2-material Appaloosa Bow of the Goddess.
Zachary here just trying to insulate himself against any things like Nibiru or any other cards that Andre could have in his hand to interact with his board that continue as he continues comboing. I believe he summoned Appo on the 5th summon, right? Or, yeah, 3 to go into IP, 4. No, the summon of Selene was 5. If Andre had a Nibiru, he could have used it there, I believe.
But as you can see, he had plenty of backup resources here as we go ahead and use the original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye. Get rid of that Snake Eye Ash, replace it with Snake Eye Oak.
Something I've been noticing all weekend is all the players that main deck Nibiru play around Nibiru, and we see Zachary having it in his main deck right now as he was searching with that original Sinful Spoils. So that leads me to believe why we went for this early Appo line.
Andre just keeping the duel honest, going to go ahead and send that card to the graveyard after it resolves, but we're going to go into Moon of the Closed Heaven, trade that out for, oh wow, the Requiem. Going to be negated. Oh, and then there's the Nibiru.
Wonderful. Well timed by Andre. The bait of the Appaloosa effect to go into the Nibiru. Before the Oak had the ability to activate its second effect to summon Flamberge. There is no Flamberge currently in play. Zachary would have loved to have gotten there before this Nibiru came down.
Zachary had a great pace of play there. Very zoomed in, just locked on to the target. I know what I want to do. I'm going to keep going, but basically played as if Nibiru didn't exist, using that negate with Appaloosa, and is going to pay for that, taking the token and passing the turn.
Wow, a pass from Zachary here. Andre really happy with the way he chose to play that turn, activating Sangan summoning at the beginning of his main phase.
One great Ash Blossom begets another, but no, this time it looks like Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit destroying the field spell.
Now, I do see a Terraforming in Andre's hand, but I believe Sangan summoning can only be activated once per turn, correct?
That is correct, so we're going to go for Chundra instead here. Wow, that was enough, just because the token was...
Yep, it is Zachary going first, beginning with that Snake Eyes Ash in his main phase, uninterrupted. I don't know if I saw anything in Andre's hand here that could have interrupted it.
I believe I saw a Nibiru the Primal Being as well as the Cosmic Cyclone, so there could be some interesting stuff depending on how far we get into the game state here. But speaking of game states, we're going to go ahead and add that Divine Temple of the Snake Eye here, activate it. Likely bring out the Snake Eyes Diabellstar.
I think I saw a hand for Zachary over there. I saw a bunch of cards. Did I even see Droll and Lockbird in there?
Certainly possible. Definitely would slow down some of the searching here. But speaking of searching, let's go ahead and activate that Snake Eye Ash. Go ahead and get rid of that Snake Eyes Diabellstar and go into the next one. This time it's Snake Eyes Oak.
All right, because you did see that Nibiru, this is summon number 3, I believe. 4 if you include the Snake Eye Ash, I believe.
So it's going to have to be really careful here.
Yep.
This could be getting Flamberge here to maybe insulate against the potential Nibiru. And it will.
Definitely would be heads up. Think about it. If anything happens that involves Nibiru, that'll send that Flamberge to the graveyard, and 2 monsters will hit the field. So here's the difficult decision.
Yeah, but we saw Andre has no problem waiting for the right time of Nibiru. He did it in game 1 and it paid off gangbusters. And here we see him going for the throat here, activating the Nibiru as early as he can on the summon of the Closed Heaven. I think he sees the value in turning off the Fiendsmith part of Zachary's deck here.
Certainly, if a Fiendsmith Desiree hit the field, it would be difficult to play through that. You need to be able to punch through as few options as your opponent has, right? When you think about the Tenpai deck building philosophy, especially Andre, who's showcasing just, a flexibility of going first, going second, you need to be able to slow down your opponent So there's less things for Tenpai to have to deal with when you get to that sacred battle phase.
The rock has been dropped, and now where do we go from here? This is actually a pretty big token, I believe. Probably like 4,000 attack. And
yeah, had the Flamberge, had plenty of monsters come out. I believe it was Flamberge and the
Moon of the Closed Heaven.
Moon of the Closed Heaven. So not the biggest Nibiru we've seen, but not too bad as far as tokens go.
So here we're attempting to use the effect of Snake Eyes Diabell Star, moving Snake Eyes Poplar to the spell and trap card zone and summoning out. We are then going to link using the token and Snake Eyes Ash, going into IP Masquerena.
Certainly feels pretty safe now that Nibiru is gone, right? Doesn't mean you are completely invincible, but at least you can play. And I did see what appears to be an Ash Blossom Joyous Spring and a Nibiru in the hand of Zachary, so a lot of different options there.
I think he has 2 Ash Blossoms specifically, which is maybe a little too many, but could be good depending on how long this game ends up shaking out.
Be certainly a grind game that helps us out, but speaking of grinding it out, looks like we got the Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames in the field and bringing back a Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon.
Yeah. Even though he didn't have access to his Fiendsmith part of his deck, the Snake Eyes part is more than good enough at playing around things like Nibiru, or in this case, playing through things like Nibiru, because having that really powerful fire package in your extra deck in the form of Promethean Princess to recycle your cards like Flamberge sets up boards exactly like this one. And now we're going to go into a Phoenix because we are fire locked, but now we can go back to what the game was before. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's 2 Ash Blossoms, a Ghost Rabbit, that was the other card I saw, and Nibiru. So if we include all those interactions, plus this IP into potential SP, plus the Flamberge, I see like 5 points of interaction for
It's
Zachary.
not too bad when you consider what Snake Eye typically tries to end on, even without the Fiendsmith access. It's still pretty strong because Promethean Princess obviously able to come back there, the Flamberge Dragon able to replace those resources. Speaking of resources, here comes Sungen Summoning. Let's see if it resolves.
If this does resolve, all those cards in hand essentially will no longer matter once Andre starts summoning Fire Dragon monsters during the main phase. We saw Zachary Ghost Rabbit this last time. It didn't exactly pay off for him, but it could be.
Oh, and there is the Cosmic Cyclone. Lose 1,000 life points, but banish that monster before it hits the field. No, it's not going to the graveyard. It's to be just a little to the side.
I think Andre's just getting ahead because he might see red here. That's usually what happens when you play a Tenpai Dragon deck and you have Sandgan Summoning plus Hydra. Gonna go ahead and search Kaiman here. Good
there we go.
there. And now it could be as simple as enter the battle phase or summon that Trundra that's already in her hand. Wow, we really do just have all the dragons in Andre's hand.
All dragons all the time. It was a great new dragon theme.
This could be a response. I believe Sandgan Summoning.
Sure.
You can't Princess, right? Because that doesn't...
Well, they're just unaffected, so you could still say, hey, I'm going to destroy you. It just wouldn't be destroyed.
Okay, great. Just wanted to double check because it would trigger on the summon of the card.
That is correct there. We are going to use that, and I think we're reaching for the Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, so get that off the field.
Andre waiting to activate the effect before he actually goes for his other dragon effects makes a lot of sense to me.
Definitely saw that Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit coming. Been a great choice for a lot of different decks to exploit some vulnerabilities of destroying those face-up cards. So now we've kind of evened things out, the field spell being gone, but we are going to the battle phase.
The thing that Zachary needs to watch out for is he cannot let Transcendence Dragion hit the field, the level 10 Tenpai Dragon Synchro Monster, because that Nibiru in his hand will not be worth anything if he does that.
Well, that was our first attack from Chundra, and here comes Tenpai Dragon Adra.
That's officially summon number 3. If Andre has a little bit of a heads-up play and maybe tries to make Transcendence as quickly as possible, that could be pretty huge for him. Attack with Fadra. We are now no longer taking battle damage, and our monsters cannot be destroyed.
Fadra is that second attack.
And here we see the quick synchro effect of Chundra going into Bident Dragion, or any level 7. Yep, Bident Dragion. This is now summon number 4, I believe. Dragion will now attempt to summon Fadra from the grave.
Certainly thinking about it, but that Nibiru won't be much help for him now because it can only be activated during the main phase. So at this point, there's just an Ash Blossom and a prayer.
We do have Ash Blossom to stop the Kaiman in play, but we have plenty of attacks here.
It appears to be the third attack here.
Can we get on summon? Sure.
Zachary's in the
consider.
That's it. So I was thinking what cards? This card and
And we're already at 3 attacks, so that Sangenpai Biden Dragon could come right back.
Go ahead, pop.
Interesting.
Okay.
I think because now we can chain the effect of Biden Dragon to quick synchro, correct?
We could, and then you could bring it back, because again, that holy number of 3 attacks. So we are going to go ahead and use the Hydra for the quick synchro effect.
So we haven't used Fadra's effect to quick synchro, and we haven't used Biden Dragon's effect to quick synchro.
That is correct. Still got plenty of gas left in the tank. Big monsters on the field, but not necessarily everything you need here as the Sangenpai Transcendent Dragon attacks.
And the reason why we couldn't summon any monsters off of Flambridge is because Transcendence Dragon now hit the board, and your opponent is not allowed on a new chain activate effects during the battle phase. So now Zachary's at the whim of Andre here. All we need is the damage now. We attack with Chundra. Goes to 6,600. Attacks with Fadra. Goes to 5,100. We still have Nibiru, which is going to be pretty handy here.
What? Sure. What am I?
Bated breath there as the Sangenpai Biden Dragon hits the
34.
field.
We swing for, I believe, 26, and I believe we still have the Nibiru, and